Shields. I'm a captain on the Cumberland Rescue Service. I'm also a water rescue coordinator. Originally started the water rescue business in Cumberland. We are now expanding to the entire northern region of the state. So our team is actually getting big. Just a quick overview. Our team has two functions. We have proactive and reactive functions. Reactive is what you guys are used to us for. Somebody goes in the river, they get in trouble, we go in and pull them out. The proactive end, we've actually helped cleaning the river. Last year we took the pipes out from behind Cadillac Mills that extended out into the river. Funny story with that, I was the diver running on the diver. So I'm down there cutting the pipes with a hacksaw, I'm 10 feet down. And I gotta say, I've been swimming in the river for 10 years. My extra eye is still in my head and the tail hasn't come out. Just to give you an idea, what Peter had said, when he looked over at me during all the water quality things, I was like, and it just went like this. So my idea of water quality is jumping in the water and seeing if anything bad happens. So I'm still here, I'm breathing, and my skin's still on me. So we took the pipes out. So I'm down there cutting the pipes, and all of a sudden, I'm just like kind of laying on the bottom, and something grabbed my leg and was pulling it like that. Now, of course, in my mind, it's the creature from the Black Lagoon, and I'm going to get sucked up and eaten. It wasn't. I don't know what it was. So I shot up. I talked to my partner, calmed down. So I'm down there cutting, and now I'm all bunched up like this on the bottom with the hacksaw. And I kind of looked through. Now, visibility down there at that time, when the water's slow, we have limited visibility, maybe 2-3 feet. To give you an idea, when the water's moving, we dive up there, Route 99. And that's about 10 to 12 feet deep, and we can look from the bottom of the boat to the bottom and see the diver. So just to give you an idea of water clarity. So I'm down there cutting away with my feet up around me. Next thing you know, I can see something coming at me from the distance. I'm like, oh, here we go. So I got the hacksaw and I'm like this, under the water. And it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Also, boom, comes a lawn chair. So, so I got brutally attacked by a green lawn chair from Blackstone River. It's like, so what's going on with the team? You're going to have to toggle through these as we go. So what's up with the team? As of August of this year, the Blackstone Valley River Rescue Committee has been disbanded. We organized in 1998 with a group effort through Woonsocket, North Smithfield, Cumberland, Lincoln, Central Falls, Kentucky. That slowly kind of fell apart, where the primary players in the team were now Cumberland and Lincoln. As of this year, and for the last 4 years, there has been no leadership for the committee. So it was a group called the Greater Woonsocket Fire Chiefs Association, which is North Smithfield, Borough, Cumberland, Lincoln, all the towns along the Blackstone. They decided to officially disband the team, but take over the funding and take over the general overseeing of the team. So now our group of divers and water rescue technicians is actually falling under this group of fire chiefs, which I think is going to work out. Because what's going to happen, there's going to be two primary fire departments of emergency services involved, both Cumberland Rescue and then Smithfield Fire Department. And I haven't met with them yet, but our goal is to cover the entire northern part of the state, from Connecticut to Mass and from Massachusetts south as far as Smithfield. So we're going to get a lot of benefits from this. First thing is that, obviously our coverage area is going to increase, so we'll be available for more incidents, not only in the river, but in the ponds and streams and lakes of the entire northern island. We're going to get a quicker response, because now we're going to have personnel scattered throughout the northern part of the state. So I live in Chepachet, it takes me 20 minutes to get to Cumberland if I'm not working, to go to an event. Whereas if there was an incident in Gloucester or Burwell, I'm there in 10 minutes. So we're going to enhance our coverage and provide a better response to these calls. Our dispatch is going to be centralized through Smithfield Fire Line, and we're working on a text messaging system now, where when they dispatch the dive team, it'll actually come to our cell phones, and we'll know exactly where the call is. What happens now is Smithfield gets the call, they call myself and 2 other coordinators, and then I spend 20 minutes driving out here on the telephone calling my team members. So we're going to get a better coordinated response.
Are you volunteering?
We're volunteering. Even though if we pay departments, we volunteer our time and service to do all this operation. So, yep, next one. And one of the biggest benefits is we're going to get more people. Right now, the core team is less than 20 members. On an average response, we get maybe 5. So if we can incorporate more personnel from more departments, it's going to make us a better team. And it's going to give us more training opportunities. Again, the more people we have, the easier it is to do the training and the cheaper it becomes. Because everything that we do revolves around the almighty dollar sign. If you go to Home Depot, you can buy an axe for $10. As soon as you put a fire department sticker on it, it's out $50. And that's what we're dealing with our type of equipment. So what type of effect is all this going to have on river rescue response? Absolutely nothing. Cumberland will still be the primary responder to the river for any what we call swift water or moving water incidents. Right now, my section of the team has 10 members that are certified swift water technicians. In fact, I train them because I work for a company in Maine and we teach swift water rescue. And I've been all over the country teaching them. So we are the primary swift water rescue responder for the Blackstone River. So our guys are really good. We train as often as we can possibly get into the water, and we do things really, really well and efficient. So what we do with our departments along the river, obviously we do a lot of training. We have a pre-plan, and I got a kind of a snapshot of what our pre-plan looks like. But basically what the pre-plan says is, where are we going in? What's the access points like Bob had talked about? Where can we stage our equipment? What type of terrain, any hazards in the water or the river that can affect us? So that's what our pre-plan does. And then our SOG, or our standard operating guidelines, which have just been revamped, and we are actually now exceeding national standards set forth by the National Fire Protection Association. So we're actually above and beyond what they require us to have for SOGs. As far as river access, I talked about the river pre-plan, and that's an important thing for us. I actually had a fun time doing this. Myself and my friend took our canoe out with a cooler, and, and we started at Manville Dam, and we went all the way down to Broad Street, and we ported at Central Falls Landing. And we did depth sounding. We looked for obstructions in the water, so if the boats had issues, we know that where the low spots are, because we've already burnt out many propellers in the area of Crack Dam. So what we did is, the way the pre-plan works is we base it on sections. And our sections go from dam to dam or bridge to bridge. So as an example, we use the section, our section 1 in Cumberland is from Route 99 to the Manville Dam. So we know, okay, if we respond to section 1, we know where our areas are to stage the apparatus. We even have areas where we can land helicopters. We've done every bridge that crosses the Blackstone as a GPS coordinate, and it's all included in our pre-plan. So, access points. Most of our access points, fortunately now, thanks to the Tourism Council, Friends of the Blackstone, we can actually get a boat into the water. And there's some areas that we still have issues with that, where we have to take 4 or 5 guys and physically lift the boat and carry it and drop it down into the water. So by making more access points, it's going to make it easier and quicker for us to get into that water and mitigate the hazards that may be present. Obviously hazards, anything in the water. Our staging areas are areas where we can park our apparatus away from what we call the incident area. And then any type of special rescue considerations, such as our old nemesis, the Crack Dam. And we fortunately, this is the first year from 2011 to 2012 that we haven't had an incident. All right? And I'm going to be there later on today. But we have an actually own operating guideline for that. Bob had asked me earlier last year, I brought up that we were trying to acquire a hovercraft. Specifically to do rescues on the south side of the dam because of the limited access. That fell through. We had secured the grant, and then the city of Pawtucket refused to give us the money up front to purchase the hovercraft. So we lost the grant. So there, our team went out. It took us about 3 or 4 tries, and we actually developed a system where we can send the rope down through the dam, hook it to a boat, and use a pulley system to pull the boat up to the base of the dam and effect the rescue. And we simulated the rescue that we had to do there, which turned into recovery when the boy was stuck on the rope that was tied to the canoe pin in the dam. And we actually took our mannequin, floated it through, put him in the same position, and we actually it took us less than half an hour to make the rescue by that system, which took us 3 days to develop. Next slide. So in our pre-plan, we have these, we have sections of the river on the map. Thank you to whoever made the Blackstone Valley bikeway maps, because I kind of scanned those and stole them. So, but we have red lines that designate our dams, and then there's colored dots. I didn't know it was going to be this small, so I made them kind of tiny. But we have like yellow dots, and yellow dots represent where we can put on. We have what's called a rapid deployment craft. It stores in a little bag about this big. It weighs 50 pounds, and we can inflate it in less than a minute with a scuba tank. So we can bring that raft anywhere on the river, inflate it, and 2 guys can get in it. It can support 2,000 pounds, and it can't flip over. We've tried. We've tried. So we have designated points for that, access points, and all the different colors that we can use to designate. So a responding department can look, okay, we know where we're going to stage, we know we're going to have boat access, and that's all included in our pre-plan, okay? One of the things that I like to see that would help us is some signage. And I know there's a whole thing about sign pollution and whatnot, but even a small designated sign at an access point like we use, for an example, to get to some parts of the Pratt Dam in north, we have to access by the south side of the Mont Street Bridge via Hope Global Driveway. A lot of our guys don't know where exactly to put the boat in, so having a little sign on a tree would designate an area where we can put a boat, whether it's a Star of Life or a Maltese Cross or even just a rescue boat picture. But something there would be a great help for us in order to designate our access points for emergency response. One of the last things that we're doing, again on the proactive side, we're trying to prevent things from happening. And I'm kind of resurrecting a program I developed about 10 years ago called DIP, D-I-P-P, Drowning Incident Prevention Program. And I developed this program and I presented it into every school in the town of Cumberland, where I hit somewhere around 300 to 3,500 students in that point. And we went into schools twice in a year, once in December to do ice safety. We had kids, breathe off the regulators. They had a blast. So we were trying to resurrect that, and we're trying to expand it more for adults. Library programs, going to certain groups and presenting this, so that way they know we're there, and they know that there's some things out there that we can actually help them along and prevent accidents from happening. Next slide. And lastly, if you get a chance, check out, there's a group I'm involved with called the National Drowning Prevention Alliance. It's ndpa.org. And they have some really good things on there, public safety announcements, public service announcements, and anything that you can think of that would prevent a drowning from happening. And these people, I spoke at their conference in San Diego 2 years ago. I was supposed to do a 3-hour lecture, it turned into 4.5 because they asked me to go longer. I'm like, no, 1.5 hours, huh? So, if you get a chance, check out that organization. They have a lot of good reference material there for drowning and drowning prevention. Thank you.